I will talk a bit on the introduction of what it is GUANXI, a bit of the literature reviews, the methodology, and then our findings and discussion. And then I would love comments and questions from my colleagues from this session. Okay, first of all, what is GUANXI? GUANXI is basically, we start, before I talk about GUANXI, I introduce a bit on the supplier network. Basically, the supplier network is the heart of a supply chain, whereby they are the one that we source our materials, our inventory, our parts, our component in order to have the finest quality with the least cost. However, it is a challenge, and to have an effective supplier network, it is essential because we need to compete due to the right now the supply chain are much more aggressive in regards of the end-to-end network. So the supplier rules are not limited to material management or sourcing management. It can be extended to supplier relationship management. So that is the thing that I think the most significant or what we call it, the integral part of how this research come about. And then basically I quotes from Kanan Jabor 2014, saying that the right supplier has a vital part in product making by contributing ecological economy benefit to the final product. Therefore, supplier selection decision affect an organization credibility. All right, so that is in regards to supplier selection network. So the literature review basically it set the framework by the supplier selection decision, how we made our decision to select the right supplier that can provide the right item at the right time at the right place in regard to the 7R in the supply chain or in the logistics chain on that matter. So we have found that in regards to the attributes of GUANXI, one of them is about trust. The trust is a trustworthy partnership is considered important in order to have a good relationship with the good outcome and the good impact on the whole supply chain. And then basically from that trust, it comes to the underlying factor of trust do in line with one of Chinese term, GUANXI, in regards to the interpersonal relationship, which I found it interesting because in GUANXI, the interpersonal relationship fan is one of the earliest that publish a paper in regards to the usage of GUANXI in research. And the good thing about fan literature is I think the author showcase the different view of GUANXI, which it can be bad, and it can, of course, most of the paper always talk about the good stuff of GUANXI, but actually when I read this author paper, it shows that it can be not a good or a bad understanding of GUANXI. So basically, I just took the good one because I think GUANXI, the Chinese interpersonal relationship is rooted to this region, the Southeast Asia region, because it shows that people willing to work together when they have trust and then they have a win-win situation, a mutual benefit, and a flexibility in regards to the transaction and whatnot. So I find it interesting And I encourage my student to focus on this, which I find it can be explored on the term of supplier selection decision, whether they have an impact or they have some influence on how they make decision in choosing the right supplier. So basically the framework is we're going to test whether trust, mutual benefit and flexibility have an effect on the supplier selection decision. I'm using a framework by Yan, but the theoretical, the underpinning is from Fan. So the design, we use a quantitative approach and is purposive, non-probability sampling. We choose any company that at least have more than 2 years experience in the consumer industry. We are more concerned on the relationship between the supplier and the company, the firm. So basically, we are focusing on their perspective in regards to supplier selection decision. And then we use, since that time is in between the pandemic, so we use entirely on online survey, and then we set up a questionnaire that they are based on the previous empirical study. So this is the first part, demographic analysis. As you can see, is very what we call it is in Malaysia. So we choose the only tools because, as I said, that time is during pandemic situation. I think early March. So the student they are staying at their hometown, which is Kelantan and Selangor. One is northern region, and another one is the middle region of Peninsular Malaysia. So Alhamdulillah, we got 400, which is a good sample size for businesses. So, and we were quite surprised that because the businesses, as I said, we intend to have as much as diverse businesses, meaning that it can be online businesses, it can be drop shipment businesses. So basically, it is more diverse in that sense, rather than we go for brick to brick or physical shops. We get this demographic. The finding was quite very good, and our combat alpha are very strong, 0.8 above. So the first analysis, we want to see whether they have a strong relationship. The most important factor is the trust, that we found that most of them agreed that affect how they choose the right supplier. However, mutual benefit and flexibility is more moderate kind of relationship, but do have a significant impact as well. But we further using a multi-regression in order to check or to explore whether they have predicting values. So basically, we have a significant model with very good 71% of, 51% of R squared. So basically, it's quite a good model. And then we finally found that in a group, they are a good predictors. However, when we want to go for individual, we check with coefficient, we found that flexibility is insignificant in regard of predicting values. So meaning that flexibility can be it have to be in the form of together with mutual benefit and trust in order for them to have a strong relation or a bit of influence to the supplier selection decision compared to trust and mutual benefit. Basically, trust is the most strongest predicting values compared to others. So in discussions, based on Thomas, it stated that all of the GUANXI attributes do have an impact with the supplier selection decision. In his paper are more towards social sustainability. So in this paper are more on supplier selection decision on the choosing what is the right supplier for their businesses. And then the mutual benefit, Yan also agree in regards to the significant relationship because it seems as their work also which showcase the same result. Chahan also showcase have a flexibility in regards to correlation. However, it's not conclusive whether they have a predicting value in their paper. In conclusion, supplier selection decisions are considered one of the crucial factors in procurement within the supply chain. So here we found that GUANXI perspective can have a novel understanding of what we call interrelationship between different firms in I think in Southeast Asian region, which is I think a bit similar in China. So I think they show it corresponding in regards to previous literature saying that when you have that informal relationship, certain the GUANXI attributes do afloat in that kind of setting. So I think this is very interesting area to explore more, maybe in qualitative research or comparative study between Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, or Thailand, or anywhere in understanding whether how strong that this I can say interpersonal relationship have existed or visible during their business transaction. With that, thank you. Any comments or question, I encourage. Thank you very much. I open to the floor for question before I pass to the next speaker. Any questions? Okay, let's see the chat. Okay. Okay. Any question? I have any questions? All right. So can we have the next speaker, please? Please explain the Chinese model. Okay, the Chinese model, Dr. Umair Mukhtar, is the one that I took is from Yan, which is cover the trust, flexibility, and mutual benefit. They have their own their home character like ranking, all that. I translate them to English. So basically, they have more than three attributes, but I only use these three because most of the previous literature in the supplier selection discussed thoroughly in regard to trust, mutual benefit, and flexibility. Am I answering your question, Dr. Umair Mukhtar? Okay, can I have, let me check first. Okay, can I have Moses, Chijioki Olisa, and William Iron do we have in the session?
Dr. Emy, yeah, Dr. Emy, I think the second speaker is not here.
It's not here. Okay, thank you. Doctor, but if you can go to first slide, okay. Can allow me to share, please?
Can you retry it again, Dr. Emy?
Yeah, yes, I already got. Thank you. Are you talking about this slide, Dr. Umair?
Thank you very much, Doctor. No, yes, in that slide, you were talking about the GUANXI Chinese term.
Pardon? Ziren is trust, ranking is mutual benefit.
Okay, can you explain this, the term you were referring in the first slide related to interpersonal relationship? What that term explain actually?
That term, okay, trust is basic. D is the trust concept that relate to ranking. Ziren actually, sorry, Ziren. So basically, Ziren is talking about trust, a trustworthy partnership. So is talking about the condition between buyer and supplier relationship which coincide with Ziren. So that's because there's no different, because there's a lot of paper talking about GUANXI, but not in logistic fields. They are more towards marketing and the international trade, IB. So I use those that the explanation by Fan, and then I will look into it using Berger, Zong, Lee, and Zong, which is related to the logistic understanding in regards to Ziren, ranking, and flexibility.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Right, I think let me stop, stop the share.